Hi, and welcome to Saturday Night Spiritual. I'm Reverend Sheena Metal. I'm the interfaith pastor at the Founders Branch of the Metropolitan Community Church denomination. And I'm here on the second Saturday of every month at 5 o'clock Pacific time. It's a light-based, love-filled, universal service for people of all different spiritualities. Welcome, everybody. Even if you're an atheist and you just believe in love on the earth, you're in the right place, and welcome. And I hope you get a little something to think about today, maybe, that then you can use to bring forward in your life to other people, to pay forward peace and love and kindness, thoughts of unity, thoughts of a higher vibration. So many beautiful things to be shared with the world. And we have all of those tools at our disposal all the time. I'm honored to be here. This is my fourth year doing this service at Founders. Our 4-year anniversary will be in June. Thank you to our wonderful senior pastor, Keith Mazingo, who helped me to put together the idea for this service. Like everything in life, we are constantly evolving and changing. More changes are coming up in the next couple months. You're going to see some different looking things. We're going to be sort of merging what I'm doing here now during COVID and what we did before COVID into something that's really beautiful and intense and for all of you to enjoy. Also, you can contact me anytime. I make myself very available to everyone. You can find me at sheenametalspiritual.com. That is my website. Also, if you want to watch past sermons on video here, you can go to RevSheenaFoundersMCC.com. Those will go, I've pulled them from this page, from Founders YouTube page, from everywhere, and put them in one place where they're easy, where you can see what the sermon title was, and you can also just do a click and you're there, which I love. Founders MCC, it has a wonderful page on Facebook, a wonderful page on YouTube, and of course we're at foundersmcc.org. Please always think about donating to the church. I like to say, help us to help you to help others. Help us to help you to facilitate helping other people, or animals, or the world, the earth, the ecosystem, the environment, whatever it is we're helping at the time, and we do a lot of that here. We have wonderful Sunday services at on Sundays at 10 a.m. and 1:30, our Spanish-speaking service, and our regular service, English-speaking service. Pastor Keith, of course, helms the first, and our head of Spanish-speaking ministries, Reverend Alejandro Escoto, hems the second. Both are like my brothers, and I would trust those men with my life, those people, humans, with my life. We are a church founded by 54 years ago by people in the queer community seeking true religious freedom, and now we open our doors to anyone who is seeking true religious freedom for any reason, because all paths paved in good lead us to the light, and it's so important to know that. And I talk about this all the time when I talk about what interfaith is, that part of religious freedom is giving yourself the freedom to believe whatever you want to believe. So over here next to me in my office, there's a curio cabinet. Not everything is there right now, but what is in there right now is a bust of Buddha, 3 beautiful porcelain wise men, which I love because I am a psychic medium as well. And the wise men were oracles, right? They were psychics. They got the prediction to go and find Jesus when he was born, and to give him the protective elements of frankincense, myrrh, and gold, 3 of the most protective elements in the elemental world. Next to the wise men is my statue of St. Patrick. Yes, I am Irish. Above that is a Wicca cat, an Egyptian cat, a meditating cat, the cat goddess Bast, and the Hindu god Ganesh. So all of these things are in my curio cabinet and more. More are coming. I have a Native American doll in front of me, a South American doll. It's okay to love whatever you love. Whatever says spirit to you, whatever says God to you, whatever makes you feel good about your spirituality is good. I mean, it really is that easy. And it really is that simple. And you don't have to just be one thing. So you can be a Jewish person and respect all of the customs and all of the wisdom of Judaism. But you can also love Jesus and the teachings of Jesus. You don't have to believe Jesus is God incarnate. You don't even have to believe Jesus was the Son of God, although I think we're all the sons and daughters and children of God. You can just believe that Jesus was a badass rabbi and a fantastic prophet and healer and teacher. That's okay. You can be a Christian and call yourself a Christian. I do. And also believe in metaphysics and New Age things. You can be Hindu and love Jesus. You can be a Buddhist and love Jewish customs. We are allowed to expand our spiritual palette and create our plate of spirituality in any way that we want. In all of the spiritual salad bar, we're allowed to take what we want and we're allowed to leave what we don't. A funny thing happened to me a couple of months ago. I was making a salad, a real salad, not a spiritual salad. And I realized that with very few exceptions, one is cucumbers. Everything I put in a salad is everything I put in an omelet, is everything I order on a pizza. Again, with a couple of exceptions. But isn't that weird that when I create a pizza, when I create a salad, and when I create an omelet, it's basically the same stuff? That is the beautiful thing about spirituality, right? No matter where you go and what situation you're in, you are taking those elements of spirituality with you. Whether your spirituality is on a bed of lettuce, on a crust, or in scrambled eggs, it's the same stuff. And that's the beautiful thing. So whether you're in a church, whether you're at home, you're at work, you carry your spirituality with you. And you have a right to put that together any way you want, in the same way that you put together the salad fixings that are in your refrigerator, in the same way you put together your plate at Hometown Buffet, in the same way that you put together the music on a thumb drive, a USB drive that you put in your car to listen to every day. And everybody's is a little different. And that's what makes us all so beautiful, that we all are allowed to build this beautiful palette of what we love every day. I think I talked about this last time, but both my parents were fine artists, and both of them were painters, amongst other things. And I remember when I was a kid, they both had the old-fashioned palette, the wood palette that you put your thumb and finger through the hole and hold up like this, and then with the brush. But my dad painted mostly boats and oceans. So his was a lot of greens, browns, blues, and it was such an interesting look of everything. My mom painted a lot of landscapes, especially she loved fall. So her palette was always a lot of reds and pinks and oranges and yellows. And I remember thinking, isn't that interesting that they both are painting right now with the same paints and the same palettes and the same brushes and the same canvases that were all bought together. Except that hers looks like this color and these colors, and his are these colors. That is how your spiritual palette is. And you can be married to somebody, a child of somebody, a parent of somebody, a sibling of somebody, a best friend of somebody, a coworker of somebody who has a completely different palate than you. Because your palate is between you and God. Now you can talk about it, you can share it, you can find like-minded people who like some of the same things on your palate and gather with them in worship, virtually, in a space, by yourself, and then you get together and talk about the worship later. However you want to do it, it's totally, perfectly okay. But you're still bringing your palate, and they're bringing their palate. Now, we talk about people who are, devotees of religion, right? Sometimes even zealously devoted to a religion. But I bet you, if you took 100 evangelical Christians and you took each one of them and put them in a separate room and you asked them 100 questions about spirituality, you would get some different answers. No, that was not an alien sighting. That is, in fact, the tale of Brother Cullen. Okay, so I'm not allowed to do a service without hugging the cat. It just doesn't work. Yes, you're part of my spirituality, aren't you? Because I love you. So you, and everybody takes different things in the world and makes it part of their spirituality. Cats are part of my spiritual palette. Other people have cats. They probably wouldn't tell you cats are part of their spiritual palette. Some people tell you that nature is part of their spiritual palette. For me, the ocean. I've always grown up around water. The ocean is so much a part of my spiritual palette. I tell this funny story that I live a quarter mile from the ocean. And if I open up all my windows, I can hear the waves. But because it's too hot, too cold, whatever, too humid, I close the windows and then I have Alexa play waves, and I sleep with waves on. Because waves are part of my spirituality. Cats are part of my spirituality. Because if it wasn't for cats, who would touch my face while I'm on camera trying to do a sermon if it wasn't for Brother Cullen? I know you're the best. You're the best little deacon of all little deacons, aren't you? Yes, you are. You're a good boy. So, I don't want you to ever feel like anything that's part of your spirituality. My father was obsessed with boats. He built, when I was a kid, 2 30-foot all wood sailboats in our garage. He built one, he sailed it, he got rid of it, and he started building another one. Boats were his religion. For musicians, music is their religion. I grew up an actor. Theaters are a kind of church for me. You find God and you find love where you find it. And that is the way it's supposed to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if you choose to be a part of a religion that gives you regulations for how things are and what you do and the community aspect of being part of an organized religion, then that's wonderful. Enjoy that. But you're also allowed to add things to your palate. Like, I love when people say, I'm Christian plus. And that plus could be anything, and it's different for everyone. Great. I always want to stress, every time I do one of these, the importance of how you are allowed to be who you are. But you are allowed to be who you are. And isn't that beautiful? God doesn't want you to conform to anything you don't want to conform to. Now, let me just say really quick, as long as you're in the light. If you're, kicked a kitten, you're going to have a problem with God. But if you are doing things that are in the light and of love, great. Believe in what you want. Love what you want. Do your thing. Because love is the most important element in the universe. We talk about what's love got to do with it? And that's what I'm talking about today. What's love got to do with it? And the answer to that is everything. Because God is love. God is love, and you are love, and love has absolutely everything to do with it. Your spirituality is love. It transfers to love. Everything about your spirituality, everything, if you looked in this curio cabinet, everything that's in this curio cabinet are things that I love. They are things that resonate with my soul. And something resonating with your soul, that's the definition of love. Love makes your light bigger. Isn't that a beautiful thought? Love grows your light. Love makes your light huge. Love is what fuels us. Love is the fuel that makes everything happen. Is it okay to say, I love cats? Yeah. Is it okay to say, I love collecting crystals? Yeah. Is that as holy as a hymn? When I'm with my crystals and I'm organizing them and polishing them and charging them, putting them all around me, it's no different for me than saying the Lord's Prayer. And I say the Lord's Prayer a lot. When I look at Buddha, and I think about Buddha's struggles and how Buddha went from being sort of this, rich, entitled, metrosexual prince to really getting the base of what it's all about, that he was here to serve, that it was all about serving. It was all about his servitude to God, to the everything, to humanity. I love that. That's love. And I don't see that path as that much different than the path of Christ. A different way of getting there, but getting there they both did. One coming from affluence, one coming from almost nothing. Finding this place of realizing it was all about serving spirit and all about serving humanity. So you can put this all together any way you want. You can make it work any way you want. Isn't that the best? What's love got to do with it? Really everything. So let's talk a little bit about love. What does love mean to you? Let's think about that. What if I've just put my water bottle on camera? What does love mean to you? Does it just mean being in a romantic relationship with somebody? Does it mean finding the one? Do you love your family because you do? Or because you feel like you have to because they're your family? If your family weren't your family, would you love them? Do you love your friends like they're your family? Do you feel the difference in family and friends? How about our animal companions? Do you love your animal companions like your children? I think you can tell I do, because I put that little rascal on camera and I let him hold my face. I don't know the difference in him and a human child. I don't have a human child, so I will give you that up front. I have nothing to compare with. But I know a lot of humans, and I love a lot of humans. And I love that little rascal because he is light. To me, he brings light to my life. He brings love to my life. And bringing love to someone's life should be bringing light to their life. So what's love got to do with it? Where there is love, there is light. And how beautiful is that? Where there is love, there is light. Because when love isn't filled with light, it's not really love. Because I bet right now all of you are like, wait a minute. I was in a relationship once, ... I loved somebody once, ... I was related to somebody once, ... And I will tell you, I have been in all those situations and I understand. But what I've also learned from those situations is that if there isn't light present, it's not really love. Even with you, if you can't find the light within you, you don't know how to love someone. One of the most important things we have to do on this road to ascension in our lives is to learn to love ourselves. Because when you love yourself, when you are filled with love, you become a light being. You become that thing when you are truly filled with love. And there's different degrees of it. And it's not just for people. So I've had many animal companions. I've had 6 cats. And almost all the cats I've had, if they do something and they know they've been a scoundrel, they usually will just go off in a corner somewhere and sit quietly till you're not mad anymore. This one, when he realizes he's done something that wasn't good, he runs up in my arms and starts kissing me like, I'm sorry, can we just be friends? Because he's so full of light that he understands that feeling the loss of any amount of light in his life is a terrible thing. And he just wants to bring that light back. And that's how you feel when you love yourself. People that love themselves, they don't want to argue. They don't want to, they'll just, people say, how come that person just walked away? Well, because people who love themselves and are filled with light, they don't think love is arguing or fighting, and they don't want to deal with that. When love starts to feel like not light, when it starts to feel like darkness, people who are filled with light will go. The universe, have you ever seen a yin-yang symbol? So the universe looks like a yin-yang symbol, right? It's like looks like a little tadpole of light and a tadpole of dark, right? In a circle. Everything in the universe is very, very spherical. Because the circle is the perfect loop, right? You end where you begin. Where the light is in a yin-yang symbol, the dark cannot be. Where the dark is, the light cannot be. And that's how the universe is. Darkness and light do not exist in the exact same space. Now, as human beings, can we have darkness and light in us? Sure. But the darkness in us is never in the same space where the light in us is. So, if love is light, and we know it is, when you fill yourself with love, when you fill yourself with light, that is a place where darkness can exist. And the more you fill yourself with light, the less darkness can exist within you. And the less darkness that can exist within you, and the more love/light that you have in you, the less you are able to be disturbed by things like negative thinking, depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide. All of these things cannot exist where the light exists. And that's why growing the love within yourself and learning to really love yourself is such a big and beautiful thing. It's so important that we understand that. That's why love, what's love got to do with it? Everything. It's everything. When I founded my nonprofit movement, I call it a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity. It's raisingthevibration.org. So it's tools to raise your vibration, right? More peace, more love, more kindness, more unity. honestly, I could just put it's love, 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 and love, because ultimate love is what leads to ultimate peace. Kindness comes out of love. Unity comes out of two people, communities, countries, cities understanding love. And ultimately, it is love that raises your vibration. And people are so fearful of love. People have strange things. I tell everybody I love them. I tell people I love them when I'm done doing a psychic video. I'll probably tell you that all today. When I finish a radio show, when I finish my TV talk show, I say I love you. I say I love you to my friends every single time I get off the phone with a friend. I tell them I love them. Do they say it back? Sometimes. I don't care. I know they feel it. It's you don't say I love you to get I love you back. You say I love you because it's coming from your soul and you want to say I love you to somebody. Whether somebody else has enough love in them to say it back is up to them. It's not your problem. To me, when I sign off with someone, whether it's an audience, virtual or in person, or it's a one person on the phone or whatnot in person, I like to send that thought of love on our way. I love you. I find sometimes it makes people a little uncomfortable. A lot of people weren't raised to say I love you. My mother always said I love you to me, but I don't think she grew up saying I love you to the world as much as I do. I think she's a little more conservative with her I love yous, that Scorpio. But for me, I like to fill something with love when I leave it. And oftentimes when I come into it, I'll say I love you too at the beginning. For me, love makes everything better. And love is this wonderful thing because it's totally free. You don't have to pay for love. If you do, you're doing it wrong. It's limitless. There's boundless amounts of it in the universe for us to grab. And it just makes you feel good. When I walk into the stores and the Valentine stuff has gone up, I'm like, woohoo! The Valentine stuff is here. And I want every box of candy that'll probably kill my pancreas. I want every heart. I want every stuffed animal. I want everything of flowers. Has every one of my Valentine's days been amazing? No, actually, in my life, most of my Valentine's days have been very painful. But I don't let them be that way, because I take the love within me and I fill that day up with joy. I don't believe Valentine's Day is only for people who ... I just love to see the hearts, and I love to see the I love yous. When I'm a crazy old lady, when I'm like in my 80s, I'll probably have one of those I love you houses, and you'll walk in, it will just be like mugs and stuffed things that all say I love you everywhere. I'll be half out of my mind and not caring because I'm surrounded by love. I love love. And the best love is the love we get from God. Spiritual love. And it amazes me how people can't feel it all the time. I'm fascinated by that. People say to me, sometimes my clients, my spiritual practice, I have a spiritual practice, my clients will say like, I just really feel like God hates me. I'm thinking, wow. People might hate you. And that's on them. Because hate is just worthless and ridiculous. But God loves us no matter what we do. We do the dumbest things. And Spirit still has our back. We do sometimes the most hurtful, destructive things to ourselves and sometimes to others. And God still has our back because God, Spirit, goddess, great spirit, universe, higher power, whatever you want to call. Spirit, they answer to all of it and they don't care. That is a force of infinite love. And guess what God made? God made me. God made you. God made everybody I love. God made everybody you love. God made Brother Cullen, the most delightful cat in the universe. God made the plants, my palm trees in my front yard that I'm so honored to be the parent of 2 deliciously beautiful palm trees. God made the ocean and dolphins and the Reese's peanut butter cup. God made everything. Everything. This video. God. Beautiful. God doesn't get mad. God just keeps loving. Sometimes God's like, occasionally God is the FML, SMH, talk to the hand. What do you think you're doing? But still there's love. God is the parent of all of us. What's love got to do with it? Everything. Because God is love and God is why we're here. God is why we're here. Spirit is why we're here. And it's so great. And we're given so many gifts and so many chances. And we screw it up again and again and again. And God just keeps holding out their hand and picking us up and letting us do it again. Even people who screw their lives up. Guess what? You get to come back and do it again. Wah, wah, fresh start. That is the most awesome. But yet, when things start to go wrong in our lives, right? We immediately think, God hates me. God doesn't love me anymore. What? Are you kidding me? God gives us infinite chances. And yes, Reverend Alejandro's here. Yes, Reverend Alejandro, God also made 0 sugar peanut butter cups and many other 0 sugar goodies. And right now I wish I had all of them. God finds a way. That's a good example. Reverend Alex, diabetic folks like me and Reverend Alex, we're not supposed to have a peanut butter cup. So poof, God makes a peanut butter cup we can eat. You want a peanut butter cup and you're diabetic? Here's a peanut butter cup you can have. You know the expression, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's God, there's a way. Because God brings love. And as much as we believe, human beings, they do their best work under adversity. If you want to get a good product out of somebody, you tell them you are a piece of garbage, and then they will do it to prove you wrong. Whew, well, that's so toxic. I got a little sick just saying it. That's not how it works. You want to get a good performance out of somebody. You want someone to create something for you. You want someone to come to work every day and want to do their best for you. You do it by loving them through it. And if they don't get that, then you love them some more. Because where there's a God, there's a way. Where there's God, you will find your way. And it may take 100,000 times, but you'll get there. So what does love have to do with it? Well, if God is love, and God is light, and God is the way, and God is filled with love, then love is everything. And just by implementing a little bit of love into your life every day, a little bit more, a little bit of love, your life gets better. And it can be anything. Sometimes, like if I go to Starbucks, I'm not a coffee drinker. I never have been. And 7 years ago, last month, I quit caffeine. Oh, I did love my caffeine. I love my black tea. I'd steep it for days till it was like oil. I like to put an Earl Grey, an English breakfast, and an Irish breakfast all in hot water in a giant jug. Steep it for a week. Pour it out. Throw half and half in it. Cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, go. It was like a Charles Dickens Christmas until my blood sugar, I think, was like in the quadruple digits. And I never touched caffeine again. And then I fell in love with chamomile because there's always a way. So when I walk into like a Coffee Bean or a Starbucks and I smell all the stuff, I don't drink coffee, but I love the way it smells. And I hear the, the espresso machine and the making the latte foam and smells like a million smells in there. I start to fill up with love. I'm like, this is so awesome. There's a place where you can go and congregate with other people, and there are delicious warm beverages to put in your body, or cold if that's what you like. There is love all around us. That is love. Sitting down and drinking a beverage, maybe having a conversation with people that you love or like or don't even know. That's love. Find the love in everything you do every day. I love this. This is a thermos filled with ice water. That is love. When I'm expelling a lot of spiritual energy and I'm doing a psychic thing, a spiritual thing, a paranormal thing, this service, and I put the water in me, I feel the hydration, and I go into another place emotionally and spiritually. That's love. A jug of water is love. This was given to me by somebody I love. It's a jug of water and it's love. It's filled with ice water, which is like your best friend. If you think you're drinking enough ice water, drink more. It's your best friend. You have to think of the littlest things. I'm looking around this office. All the things that are here, where I got them, who I got them from, how they came to be. And all I see is love. If you could just do the tiniest little tweak to your brain so that you start thinking of everything as love, your whole world will change. You literally turn that frown upside down. You literally become a glass half full person and stop being a glass half empty person. Because you can find negativity in anything that you look for. And it's there in everything. In everything we do, we can find the love or we can find the opposite of love. Whatever you consider the opposite to be. The opposite can be a lot of things. It can be apathy. Some people think it's hate. I think hate is too strong of an emotion to be the opposite of love. I think probably not caring enough is the opposite of love. If you think you are done loving, you are wrong. If you are thinking you will never love again, you are wrong. Because it's always there. And it's always waiting for you. You can shut it out. You can reject it. You can shut love off from others. You can shut off the love inside of yourself. I hope to God you don't. But like an old sink you haven't turned on in 20 years, you turn it on and it works. So we have a sink in my family room here. I'm living in my childhood home that we bought in 1980. And it's a bar, right? Because in the 70s, every house that was cool had a wet bar in it. So it's basically a counter with shelves up top underneath our cabinets and drawers where you keep all your bar stuff. And then there's a sink. So my parents weren't drinkers and they weren't entertainers. And, you know, there's sinks all over the house. Why do you need a sink in the family room? The kitchen sink's 10 feet away. But there it sat. And nobody used it for decades. And so 1980, now we're at 2016, and my mom is home being taken care of at Home Health at Home. And we decided to put her bed in the family room. So the nurse comes to give her a bath, and she says, well, does this sink work? And I thought, oh my God, this thing is going to blow up the house. But she turned it on after all those years, right? And it worked. Just like we'd use it every day. And that's how love is. Even if you go through a really hard thing and you shut yourself off for 20 years, you have the ability to turn yourself back on and to love. And you still work. The pipes are a little rusty at first, maybe. That happens. Sometimes it bleh, 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 spits out that brown water. I think the sink did, and I was like, oh God, this isn't going to be good. Like a tree branch is going to come out. But after a while, I went right back to a regular stream. That thing still works now. I can't wait to take it out because it makes me nervous. But it works. It's fascinating how it works. But it works. And that's how you are. You have all this love inside of you, whether you're tapping into it or you're not tapping into it. But please tap into it. I know it's hard sometimes to open up. I know people hurt us and they're terrible and they're abusive and we just want to crawl in a hole and just be away from it all sometimes. And I get that. But we are given love to do something with it. You know? It's like, what if your mom gave you a bag full of Almond Joys? And for Reverend Alejandro's benefit, we'll make them 0-calorie Almond Joys. And the idea was there were enough in there for you to give one to everybody in your class. But every day when you got up in the morning, you went, I don't like the kids in my class, and I'm not giving them my Almond Joys. And then you don't think about it. 6 months later, a year and a half later, whatever the shelf life of an Almond Joy is, 35 years later, you open up the bag, and they're bad, they're hard, the chocolate has all bloomed and is white. And nobody got the Almond Joys. That's a choice. And you're allowed to make that choice. But why? When you have so much inside of you to give, why don't you want to take all this beauty that God put inside of you and use it to help other people? Do good deeds, make somebody laugh, share some love, share some joy, make somebody feel warm inside. So let's talk a little bit about my beloved brother Cullen, the blue cat. This boy does not hold back his love. He loves, he'll show the handyman his love, he'll show the gardener his love. You come to your brother Cullen and you get the love. Is he sometimes not feeling good? Probably. Is he sometimes grumpy? Sure. Does he sometimes not get enough sleep? Absolutely. But he knows, because animals know, that his mission is to spread love wherever he can, because animals know. I went to lunch today, and the is it brunch, and the person I was with had a dog with them, and boy, people see a dog, right, and they're like, oh, a dog, and the dogs just love it, like, hi, yeah, I'm a dog, you can love me, because they understand spreading love. And we do too, at a core level as people, we also understand spreading love, but we let fear and pain and depression, we let ourselves be held back from that love. We convince ourselves that nobody wants to see our love, or someone's just going to laugh at our love or hurt us if we love them. And we hold back, we cover up the best parts of ourselves. Everything spiritually is supposed to be flowing. Everything is supposed to be in motion. When you are sharing love with others, that is flow. That is motion. Then someone gives love back to you, and that circle, right? Just like the circle of the universe, that circle is flow. That's energy in motion. Energy is supposed to be in motion. So all of this inside of us that we're not sharing, that's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be sharing all of the love in us, out of us, into the world where it can do real good as part of our service. Because we all have a service, right? And part of what God wants is for us to perform our service. So we're at foundersmcc.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Please, if you'd like to share something with us, a donation with us, help us to help you to help others, please do that. Make sure to let them know it's for Saturday Night Spiritual, so people know you're enjoying what's happening here on the second Saturday of every month. Think about love as we move through this Valentine's weekend. Think about trying to make it the best Valentine's Day you can for you, and share your love with the world. I'm at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. If you want to watch past broadcasts of Saturday Night Spiritual, past services, go to RevSheenaFoundersMCC.com. Remember from the Bible, from Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy or boast, it's not arrogant or rude, it does not insist on its own way, it's not irritable or resentful, it does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. That is love. We are so full of love. Pastor Keith is on right now giving you all the information that you need that I gave orally. If it's easier for you to see it written down, which I think it is. Please enjoy our Sunday services tomorrow at 10 and our Spanish-speaking service after that at 1. Thank you to both Pastor Keith and Reverend Alejandro for being here. We're going to be spreading this link around. Putting together a group of folks that watch this every month. Contact me and I'll let you know how to join that group. Also, if you have something beautiful to share and you'd like to be a part of a future service, let me know and let's talk about that. I'm very accessible. I'll give you my phone number, 818-437-0886. Until I see you next month, seek peace, live in love at all times, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration. And most importantly, the most important thing in the world, know you are love and you are loved. And you are loved by me. I love you. And I hope to see you all next month. I hope you tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. and at 1:30 p.m. for our Sunday services. I'm honored and blessed to be a part of MCC and a part of the Founders MCC Church. Honored to be your interfaith pastor. And I'll see you next time. I'm Reverend Sheena Metal, and this is Saturday Night Spiritual. You take care of you. Happy Valentine's Day.